Amazing. Welcome, everybody. I am super duper happy that we are here. And I'm going to have a look into exactly what I named this call so that I say the title exactly right the way I said it was going to be. The change you must make to get rich. So, why do we need to make a change? I want to ask this question. So, please let me know in the chat. Have you ever tried to work on getting rich or like even making more money than you are making now? Have you ever been trying to make more money? You can just, hey Lena, I see you. You see me on camera. So if you ever had tried to make more money than you are making now, whether you were calling it trying to get rich or like just making more money, please let me know in the chat. You can just say like, hey, yes, I've been trying to make more money. The reason why so Anki says, yes, you have been working on trying to make more money. Did you ever find that it was quite hard to make more money? I would assume that most of you who are on this call and most of you who will be watching this call later on the replay, I would assume that you were drawn to this title because you kind of knew that you did have a hard time to make more money than like every time you've tried. It's almost like this glass ceiling and we're trying to climb up, but we're like falling down. And I've had that so many times in my life. And this is called an upper limit problem. It is like it is almost like a glass ceiling. So it is a ceiling that our subconscious mind has made familiar. We know that within this little like glass ceiling, like underneath here, it is safe for me to be. The reason why I wanted to cover this topic today was because I spoke with a woman very recently, an amazing, wonderful woman. And she told me that she was working on saving money to do my program, the Muscle Manifestor program, which is an incredible program teaching highly sensitive women how to become Muscle Manifestor coaches and become free in their lives to be able to work from the beach and to really like level up their own income and making a massive transformation and impact on the world at the same time. Who would like to make a lot of money and make a big, fat, massive impact on the world at the same time? Say yes in the chat box. So I was chatting with this woman and she told me, she was like, Linda, I have been saving up. So Anke says, yes, amazing. And she was telling me like, Linda, I've really been saving money. And now when I was almost there, I did something stupid. So she kind of got fooled. So I see a lot of yeses, amazing. She got fooled or scammed into something. So all that money was now gone. And the interesting thing about that was that for me, this is not the first time I've heard this kind of story. Who has ever heard of somebody winning money at a lottery, for example, and then boom, they do something and all the money is gone? Have you ever heard that? This is super common. So I see Lena saying yes, yeah. This is really, really, really common. That, and Helena says you have that too. I was asking when we had lunch today if Jonas and our friend Rickard, if they knew the percentages of the people who win from the lottery, the percentages of how many actually keep any money. And according to Rickard, he said that he read a study on this. So don't really quote me on this, but like from his memory, what he could remember, he said that the study that he read like about 20 years ago, and I think that our minds has not changed so much in 20 years. So he said that the study he read about 20 years ago was that people did not only lose the money and come back to zero, they actually got into debts. They started to produce a minus every single month. So their life, so I was Googling that a little bit fast to just see like what happens to most lottery winners. And there are so many people witnessing of their life becoming worse. And this is exactly what have happened to this woman that I was referring to, this amazing, wonderful woman who was scammed into something. And as I said, I've heard this story before with other women who are saving up money and all of a sudden it's gone. Something bad happened to them. Who has ever, like, it doesn't really have to be around money, but who has ever felt that, oh, things are starting to go good in my life? Maybe it is like you're finally starting to attract a loving relationship, or you're finally starting to get into a better body shape if you're working on like a slim body. And then all of a sudden you're close to the goal, but all of a sudden self-sabotage kicks in. Who has ever had that? So Lena says yes, yeah. This has everything to do with the upper limit. And the upper limit is what we need to change in order to actually change our reality. I forgot to introduce myself. So if we have not met before, my name is Linda. Since 7 years, but like 2016, I did my big awakening when I went through. So all my life, I wanted more freedom in my life, and I wanted more money in my life. And I was really in that struggle. Like every time I made money, I lost the money. But then I also got into a whole cycle of infertility, and that really helped me to wake up. And I was like, there must be something more, because the doctors just kept telling me like, oh, IVF is the only way to go. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And this is where I actually learned about our subconscious mind. This is when I took my first ever training about understanding the extreme power that our subconscious mind has. And when I started to understand the power of our subconscious mind, and I started to understand like, oh, if the subconscious mind has an upper limit, it is just like a lid. It's like we have a box, like we are living inside of this box, and the upper limit is the top of that box. It is the lid. And if we have that upper limit, or everybody has it, but if it is close to where you are, you're trying to get up, like you will just bump your head into it the whole time. And this is why we are self-sabotaging. And when that woman explained to me that she had just lost the money that she had saved, I knew exactly what was going on. So unconsciously, none of this happens consciously. Unconsciously, this was a self-sabotage. It was her subconscious mind. It was not the subconscious mind that produced the scam, obviously, but it was the subconscious mind helping her. The subconscious mind always believes that it actually helps us. So it helped her to get her to sabotage all of that money, because her upper limit was much closer. So maybe her upper limit was here, and now she had been going up like here, and her upper limit was like, no, we're gonna sabotage this. So she lost it all. And so what happened with my fertility journey, when I realized that, well, when we have upper limits, we are going to block ourselves. We are going to self-sabotage our own success every single time. And it took me 3 weeks, because first I was diagnosed with unexplained infertility. And then an IVF doctor that I went to for just a consultation, but she figured that I didn't have any ovulation. So obviously you need an ovulation to get pregnant. And she was like, I don't think that you have an ovulation. And she said, like, we can do IVF, like we do IVF, like that's the way how we cure this. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And it took me 3 weeks after understanding about the subconscious mind. I started to raise my upper limit, and I started to give my mind new instructions, and I started my own ovulation. So that was like black and white example of how extraordinarily powerful our mind is. When it understands that it is actually safe for us to raise that bar, to raise the lid, to raise up our upper limit. what happened in my case after that was actually that I realized that actually I don't want to become a mom at this point. I want to become free. I wanted to build a life of freedom. Like that was my long-term dream since I was 3 years old. I always knew I wanted freedom and I wanted to make money. So then I had like, even though I did the whole thing of starting my ovulation and it was working perfectly and still working perfectly, and I'm really looking forward to the day I feel completely ready to become a mom. But I was working on the money issue, and I kept running into this thing. Like I was making money in my business, and then I even remember like my first big month when I was making a lot more money than normal. So maybe normal for me at that point in my life, in my business, was maybe about 10,000 SEK a month. And now I had divided over 2 months, I think I made like 250,000 SEK, which is quite a big gap. So it was a big jump. And that was not safe for my upper limit. My upper limit was like, oh my God, what is happening? I started to feel all these different fears in my whole body, in my whole system. It was like these warning signals going on, like, ooh, 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 something is off here. And it started to help me. The upper limit started to help me to start to sabotage that. I could have, if I didn't have that upper limit and those beliefs, I could have kept going. And it would have been a great like starting point. Like, oh, now I had 250,000 on my bank account and I could have kept going and going up from there. But no. I was not aware that I had that upper limit. That like, and I didn't have anybody who could tell me about this. Like I did not have a mentor that could guide me through this. And this is why I am so big on mentorship now. Like I know we need somebody to actually help us, because it was later on when I could finally find people who knew about all these things that could actually help me. This is when things started to change. I'm just going to see what Lena said. I'm going to read that in 1 second. So what happened was that the upper limit, my subconscious mind, like the upper limit was here, and I had now gone over that upper limit. What did my subconscious do? It started to destroy everything for me. I got really tired. I got drained. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do sessions. I didn't want to help anybody. I just wanted to be quiet and sleep. And that was the upper limit that had kicked in. And when I finally started to connect with people who knew about these things that could actually guide me through this and really help me to understand that if we have that upper limit, we are always going to self-sabotage ourselves back into that comfort zone. But when we can change that, like when we can, like the upper limit will never go away, but we can really push it up. Like when we know about these things and we know how to do it, which I know now, like I've done it for me and I've done it for many clients, which is amazing. Because I see what happens is that our upper limits has gone up so much, and we can keep expanding that. So it keeps going up and up and up and up. And this is how we can go from kind of broke, like living month to month, never having extra money, to creating a life where we are actually rich. And that feels amazing. So when I'm reading Lena's post right here, I'm going to read it. So while I'm doing that, let me know in the comments below or in the chat box, do you have a dream of truly becoming rich? Is that something that you feel in your heart, like, I really want to become rich? So while you are commenting on that, I'm going to have a look what you said. Okay, yeah, so this, Lena, thank you so much for your bravery in sharing this. So you were, is it okay, Lena, if I read what you said? Okay. So you said that you have experienced exactly that, self-sabotaging when it came to weight loss, gained even more weight than before. So Lena, was this when you started to get into the shape that you wanted, and all of a sudden, bam, self-sabotage kicked in, and then you started to gain more weight? And then you also said that you're experiencing that. So Lena is one of my amazing clients who's inside the Master Manifester. So you felt that you got so many aha moments, and then now you're back, Lena. I saw that you disappeared. I can't hear you though. Hold on, I can let you on. Is it possible?
Now, is it okay now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
thank you for jumping in and sharing this. So the thing was that you started to drop weight and you started to get into your slim body, and then what happened?
Then I stopped at a certain weight, and it was like a weight that it was. I think subconsciously I didn't want to go beneath that weight, and I stumbled on the same weight for like I don't know how many weeks, and then I just gave up. So it was like maybe that was my upper limit. Yes, the roof. I hit that, but I didn't have the strength to see that. I couldn't understand that. So then I just comfort myself with sweets and stuff, and then it went like I gained even more weight than I was before. So, and the same thing is happening with a course. This is fantastic. It's like opening. I see it like it's opening a door to freedom from stagnation and being beroende, dependent on others, like my parents, and it's I think it's both fear that it comes in, but it's like the comfort zone is like so strong, so it's like pulling me back. So suddenly, I have to admit this, and I feel so bad every evening, every night, because instead of taking one video, an extra video, watching to proceed in the course, I'm in the social media looking at stupid things like babies and dogs. And, it's like not me. It's not me because my time is really limited because of my parents, as you know, Linda. I have to take care of my father and back and forth. So when I have the time, I say to myself, okay, now we'll check next video in the course. And suddenly there's something on Instagram and time flies away. I don't get good sleep. So I think something is happening here. It's like really, really hard.
And this is amazing. So thank you so truly much for sharing this, because just that you are coming on here and sharing this is such a mastery. Like you're brave and you are showing up and you're stepping up and you are setting the example for everybody listening to this later on and listening to this now, like to really see what is actually going on, because awareness is step one. And now you have the awareness. And what many people do, like this is something that I talk about a lot inside the Master Manifestor, and I will show you, Lena, where to get, like what videos to actually watch. There is this part where I'm talking a lot about making the unfamiliar familiar, and I explain in the course like how do we actually do that, because like if something is unfamiliar to us, our mind is going to do whatever it can to actually stop us from doing that. It's trying to like pull us back the whole time. So it's kind of the same thing as the roof that you're explaining, like keeping us inside that. Because in your life, Lena, did you grow up with like super slim and amazing like physical bodies around you? Was that normal to you? Was it normal that people had super slim bodies?
We were like three sisters. We were slim, all of us, all three of us, and we could have the clothes that we wanted. We were very fit actually, all three of us, and went to the gym. And it's like until I was like 35, then I got a very stressful job, and then I got pregnant, and then it was like the downhill. So, until 35, yes, I had my sisters and myself, we were slim and trained, yes.
Amazing that you're sharing this. So In a case like this, how do we solve this? So since you are a part of the Master Manifester, and we have an incredible, because so what I teach in the Master Manifester course and online program is like how we are becoming Master Manifestors ourselves in our reality. Like that is part one of the training. The second part of the training is how do we become Master Manifestor coaches, online coaches, so that we can actually start to help other people. So I teach my students everything I know, which is really incredible. Like all this that I've used for years now and changing my own life, going from feeling completely stuck to live my dream, like living my dream. And I'm sharing all of that so that more people, like my students, that you guys can actually help other people, because my mission on planet Earth is to help more, especially women, to wake up to their truest potential, to really step into that power that we have, because we all have that power. So inside our clients only Facebook group, Lena, you can ask for a session. You can ask somebody, and you can say like, hey, just chatted with Linda and we realized this thing about the weight. And I wanted to see if anybody of you could help me to do a session on this, to figure out why that upper limit is, because it is something that is going on in the subconscious mind. So this is not coming from the conscious mind. The conscious mind is only 5%. We want to figure out, why is that roof there? Why is that upper limit there? And we want to expand that so that your whole system, your whole subconscious mind knows that it is completely safe. And not only safe, it is actually better for you to have your amazing slim body than an overweight body. So that is like a physical step that you can take right now after this call. Go into the Master Manifestor Facebook group and ask for help about that. So does that feel like a good plan, Lena? Fantastic. And what about money? When you were a kid, was it normal for you to see rich people around you? Like, was rich people a part of your upbringing?
Not rich people, but instead, my mother talked about lack. There was a lack all the time. We have to save. It's expensive. We have to save. Oh, your sister, my older sister, she was spending more money than the two. I mean, the middle sister and me, we were like had understanding about the family matter. And my sister, she was like more. She has an issue, and my mother was like spoiling her. So she spent the money, and you have to save, and this is expensive, this is expensive. So we were like hearing that, and we were so programmed that we're not worth, like, she didn't mean it, but it was like saying you're not worth to have something expensive. And both me and my middle sister, we are struggling with the money, while the older sister, then that she never heard a limit about money, and she got diamonds and stuff like that. And she is like so successful. She has so much money, and her company is really, and we're happy for that for her. But we have also, we see how we were brought up in the family in two
Yes.
different ways
Yep.
within the same family. Yeah.
And this is incredible. So thank you so much for
Mhm.
sharing this. Because did everybody think that this was helpful? Say helpful in the comments, to just give Lena some extra credit for this amazing, like that you're brave, you're showing up and you're really sharing this, because this is exactly what you're talking about. We are being programmed. What we see when we are growing up, that is what is becoming our normal reality. And that puts that roof or that upper limit upon us. The good thing about this is that we can actually change it. We can take, and this is why I'm so passionate about talking about like taking your power back. Because what does it feel like when you are trying to lose weight and you can't? What does it feel like when you're trying to make more money and you can't? We are feeling powerless, right? Like that is how I used to feel. I felt extreme form of powerlessness when it came to my fertility. I felt extreme form of powerlessness when it came to trying to build a company. I had a network marketing company back in the days, couldn't make that happen. I tried to make money, couldn't make that happen. Like there were so many things. I felt so desperately powerless in my whole life. Who can relate to the feeling of feeling powerless? Yeah. And you're also getting here comments, Lena, that people are saying that it was very, very helpful. And Ingrid says it's really helpful to listen to others. Yes. Um, so Ingrid, I will also read what you said before. I really want to become rich, but if it is not coupled with helping others, it feels wrong. So yeah, okay. Like I'm not worthy of making money. I think I have a strong upper limit in all areas of my life. And super brave for sharing this, Ingrid. Thank you so truly much. Because this is exactly what you are saying, that the upper limits, many times they go across several areas of our lives. It is this belief that, like I even heard like this morning, so Jonas, my amazing boyfriend, and I were in this co-working space, and it's like a cafe kind of thing, and they're doing a renovation in the building above. So earlier today was a lot of noise, and then one of the girls in the cashier, she said, oh, but now it is at least quiet. And then the other woman said to her, she was like, don't jinx it. So she was like, don't say that it's too good now, because then it will get worse. And then I explained to them, and I was like, this is so common that we have this strong belief that if things are now going good, we shouldn't even talk about it, because then it can go bad. Who has ever heard like that? Don't jinx it, right? So this is a real saying. And this is what Ingrid just said. This goes across so many areas of our lives. I was very afraid before telling people that I started to get good at making money and keeping money. I felt unsafe in sharing that because my upper limit had not grown yet. So, but now when I have expanded, I can now like stand up straight and say like, hey, I have become good at making money. I'm still like working on learning how to make more money, but I can feel safe in sharing that. And I can now feel safe in sharing that I am enjoying a loving, amazing, wonderful, loving relationship. Before that upper limit has gone up, we are going to feel scared about talking about that. So the first time, like those first 2 months when I said I made a lot of money, I felt really scared. I didn't tell anybody. Jonas were the only one knowing, because I felt so scared about telling anybody. I had all these different fears, like what will people think of me? And it was also this fear. So Ingrid, I wasn't really sure if you meant that you felt that you wanted to help that you wanted to help people and make money, because some people, is that what you want to do both of them? Okay, amazing. Thank you for sharing this. And many people, they also have this belief that I'm actually going to share something very personal. I did share this in the Master Manifestor program the other day. I posted a new video lesson in there. I had recently somebody in my close family. It was actually a cousin to me who I considered a very good friend. And I asked her, because I noticed that she was never really asking me any questions about my business, or like, I just felt like she wasn't really that interested in me. So then I grew in my confidence, and I asked her, I was like, is there anything about me that you actually think is interesting, or my business, or anything like that? And then she was like, no, to be completely honest, I think that you are a scam. And what you're doing is like, you're really scamming people. And I was like, oh my God. So I was completely actually shocked by that very honest and like upfront response. But like I took some time to let it sink in, and I was like, okay, where is she coming from? Like, what is her belief? I have not analyzed her. I've not done a session with her, so I don't know. I cannot say like, but from my professional understanding of helping people, my understanding is that she has a belief that you are not supposed to make money if you're helping people. A lot of, who has ever had that? Like, you shouldn't make money from helping people. Who has ever heard that? Yeah. Ingrid, did you also raise your hand? Did you want to come on and say something? So you can just unmute yourself and you can see.
Well,
Hey.
I feel that it's okay to make money, whatever, if you're not helping other people, but you are in whatever work you have. But in my childhood, there was my father who had this, oh, jag är så fattig, en annan jävel kan aldrig bli rik och såna här. And it was, we were not poor, but we were not rich at all either. I feel that I have, as soon as I think about gaining money, I feel, oh, no, 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 no. Like it's so dangerous almost.
Thank you so truly much for sharing this, Ingrid. So I'm just gonna fill in what you said in Swedish for everybody listening later on from other countries. So you said that your father, he looked at other people who were making money and he was talking badly about them, and that was available to them but not to him, and so he was really trying to do, making them smaller. Yeah. And it's really good that you also added that every time you now think about oh, I want to be rich, but then you almost feel, and you did this with your whole body, you were really showing this is how I feel. And this is exactly that upper limit playing out. So without your father, I don't know him, but without him being consciously aware of it, probably he put that lid on you as well.
Yeah.
So
my mother too, in her way.
Your mother did also do that in her, yeah. And this is so common that we learn. In my case, I had a little bit of a different one. So I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family where we had we were middle class, but maybe a little bit above that. If I would kind of just look at the other classmates, and we had a nice sailing boat, and we could go on different vacations. But as soon as I moved away from home, I got into really money problems. I signed up for a house in London that was filled with mold, and I got really sick from that house, and I was stuck in a contract having to pay money. I got into really, really bad situations, and all those bad money situations kept going until I started to understand again. I was like, what is that upper limit? Why is this happening over and over and over again? And then I realized that I had learned that my mom, so all of this from my perspective, I'm not saying black and white that it was this way, but from my perspective, my mom had more of a regular job, a regular salary, like most moms did. And then my dad was the one he was a boss at some company, super driven and really good at making money. So he was the one making sure that we could do, again, from my perspective, I've not asked them, was it this way, but this is still my perspective. So my mind had picked up that women, we can do the survival, but men are the ones doing more. So that became my behavior, that I thought that I needed to attract men into my reality that could provide for me. So this is amazing, Ingrid, that you are sharing this, and because this is exactly what happens. No parent has the intention of destroying their kids. No parent has that. So they did the best they could. This is the first thing that we need to accept as well. From their belief system, they did the best thing that they possibly could. The good thing about all of this now is that we are here, and we can actually. So my intention for today, if I can help one of you to just see hey, maybe there is a chance for me to take my power back, that would make me so happy if I could just have that impact on one of you today, to realize maybe I could take that money, take that power back. Because so from my perspective and my understanding, from all this work that I've done, is that if you were not meant to be rich, you would not have had that desire inside of you. So my strong belief is that you, as the soul, I believe that we humans, we are basically a soul, and we have come into this planet. And I believe that your soul, you as the soul that you are, the wonderful, beautiful, amazing soul, you have come here to break free. You have come here to make that money. Are there tears of relief?
No, it's tears of that all my life I've felt unworthy. I've been put down all the time in different ways. I'm not like that anymore. I've uh, the past 8 years I've been working a lot on myself, so I don't feel the same. But obviously, since I'm crying, there's something. It was what did you say? You said to break free. Yes, that's what I want to be, free. And
Yeah.
I haven't felt that any time. And now I am on a sick day because I had a stroke. So I can't walk properly. I can't use this hand and stuff. And Försäkringskassan is not generous. So yeah.
So now everything has become even worse with the money situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived on Gran Canaria before with my sambo,
Mm-hmm.
and he died, and I had my stroke in Gran Canaria, and then when he died, I decided I didn't want to be there anymore, so I went to Sweden, and so it is.
Yeah. So thank you. So I see that my battery is running low. So I'm just going to plug it in so that I make sure that I can continue this situation. So just give me 1 second and I will just plug my it in. So there we are. Thank you so truly much for sharing this. What a brave soul you are. What a
Yeah,
brave woman.
some ways. Yeah.
You, because when we have like that nightmare happen, that somebody we love decide to go home, how I would say it, then we have the decision: do we want to stay or do we want to go? And you decided to stay.
But sometimes I wonder if it was the right decision, and it's because because of different things. But since I am here, it was the right decision.
Yeah. And I could really see, like, I'm so happy that you're here today, because I can really see what is possible for you. Like when you are breaking free, like when you find a path that is right for you, whether that is to do my program or any other program, like when you find your path and you feel in your whole system, you're like, yeah, this is my way.
Yeah.
I can see you on the stages to speak, to touch so many people's hearts. We need people like you
Yeah.
to break free.
Decision. So that's the way I wanna to touch, to use it, to touch, and to touch people.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to talk because of the stroke. Sometimes
But I'm so grateful that you are here with us and you are talking and you are stepping into that power already, which is so incredible. So, but was this helpful for everybody? To just say helpful in the comments, to also give Ingrid that amazing support, because this is wonderful that you are stepping in here and you are sharing that story, and to really now become aware. So Anki Helena says helpful. Sarah says helpful, wonderful. And like when we can understand, like, okay, there are actually ways to raise up that, to really break free and to start to live the life that you as a soul have come here to live. I had an incredible conversation with a friend of mine, a very close friend. We came to the conclusion that our drive was very, very, very different. She was like, I don't fancy so nice stuff. I don't fancy to go on luxury boats or cruises or anything like that. She was like, I'm quite like comfortable with just living my like regular day-to-day life. And I was like, yeah, that's interesting, because for me, I just feel this, I see like I am already on my way and I see this massive vision of my whole reality. And then we were talking about this, and it was great because we could really have a conversation. Like we were not judging one another. We just Have you ever had that conversation where you just feel like we're coming from completely opposite directions, but we can talk about it in just an interesting way? So that was one of those conversations, and it was so loving, and it got me to really dig into this a bit more. And then I said to my friend, I was like, the reason why I feel that it is so important for me to build my big life with like the money that I want, the boats that I want, the houses, the amazing relationships, all of this. I was like, me as a soul, like I have come here on planet Earth to really live that awesome experience. I have been here on planet Earth so many times, and I've gone through so many ways of dying, and I've gone through so many ways of just living in different like karmic consultations. And I'm done with that. Like now I have come here now in this lifetime to make the most out of life on Earth. And I'm here to do that for myself, but also to inspire other women, to share my story, like, hey, where did I start and where am I now and where am I going, so that I could touch other women's hearts and really help them to see like, hey, this is actually possible. So her and I, she also works with like helping people and stuff like that, but we do it in the completely different ways. And everybody is needed. Everybody is really needed here on planet Earth. Nobody has come here as a waste. None of you are just here to fill up space. If you feel in your heart, in your body that so Ingrid, you did this. And if you guys feel like, hey, I'm here to expand, I'm here to walk with my back straight, to have my chest open, and I'm here to just show myself in this world, and knowing that I'm safe to do that, that is exactly what you are supposed to do. You have come here to do that.
It's easier for me now. I have experienced this feeling of, wow, it's amazing. But I go like this. I'm there and I dive. I'm there and I dive.
Yep. And this is really, really, really common. Until that upper limit has really gone up, and that becomes our new normal.
Yeah.
And this is really because I saw that a lot of people, like even coaches, that they were good at helping other people, but then they asked me, they were like, Linda, I'm really good at helping people, but I kind of feel like an imposter. I feel like they're going to see it right through me because I don't have any results in my own life. And then they came into my world and they took my trainings and I helped them. And they were like, oh my goodness, I've worked with coaching for so many years and helping other people, but I've never experienced like these kind of results for myself. This is the power when we're working directly with our subconscious. This is so powerful when we can go right into the programming, and not only with the programming in our subconscious, but actually allow, so my specialty is to really help myself and my clients and my students who are becoming master manifestor hypno coaches to talk to the soul. We want to understand like exactly what the soul has planned. So we want to have that communication and really channel that information through, and then make the subconscious mind comfortable in expanding so that the soul can actually take its space. Does that make sense? So this is so incredible. So I'm going to end this conversation here. Is it super clear now what we need to do? Like the shift that we need to make if we want to get rich is to expand. Like we want to expand, we want to move that upper limit. Does that make sense to everybody? And today, for you women who are in the Master Manifestor program, today at 4:00 when we have our group coaching, so once a week we have a group coaching for the clients, we are actually going to do a hypnosis on moving the upper limit up. So that, yeah, I see the thumbs up from Lena. That will be absolutely incredible. So for all of you who are interested in learning more, like whether you're live here or whether you see this later on, and if you're interested to see like, could the Master Manifestor program be for you, you can shoot me a message on Facebook and we could just have like a chat, because I really want to make sure that I don't let just anybody into the program. I always want to make sure like we are a really, really, really good fit, because I want to make sure that everybody who goes through the program, that they get amazing results. So that is really my intention. And from the bottom of my heart, I really, really, really hope that this has been helpful for you. And thank you so much for all of you coming on, sharing, and being a part of the whole conversation today. I'm super, super, super grateful. So thank you so really much, everybody. And I see you very soon. Bye.